Illegal mining in South Africa has reached a breaking point with the recent rescue of recovery operation at Stilfontein, exposing the criminal networks and reckless behaviors plaguing the country. Over 150 illegal miners were rescued and 60 bodies have been recovered. Far from the tale of woe, this incident highlights the rampant lawlessness of the Zamazamas and the heavy burden they place on taxpayers. Authorities launched a raid on the Stilfontein shaft as part of the Operation Valamkoti last year in the northwest, which led to significant success in curbing illegal mining activities and forcing scores of illegal miners to resurface, not to babysit those knowingly engaging in dangerous and unlawful activities. Yet the aftermath of the raid revealed the extent of the criminal negligence underground, with miners trapped in hazardous conditions due to their own reckless pursuit of profit. To date, more than 1,500 individuals involved in illegal mining have surfaced and been apprehended. Police who should be patrolling the streets and taxpayers' money going to waste should be used for our state hospitals, much in need of that. Rescue operations to save the miners, criminals who willingly put themselves at risk, have drained resources, while over 111 miners were pulled out alive. The operation has cost South African taxpayers more than $1 million in equipment, manpower, and time that could have been directed towards lawful citizens and critical infrastructure. The tragedy of the three Vantage Goldfields Lily Mine employees who remain trapped underground after the mine collapsed in 2016 continues to haunt their families who feel betrayed by the government. Lack of meaningful intervention, despite nearly a decade passing since the disaster, no substantial efforts have been made to retrieve the container where the workers were buried, leaving their loved ones in a perpetual state of grief and frustration. This unresolved strategy stands in stark contrast to the situation in Stilfontein, where legal South African miners remain abandoned underground, while NGOs, human rights lawyers, and international media mobilize immense resources to rescue illegal migrants, often at the expense of the nation's purse. These operations rob South Africans of their tax revenue, perpetuate lawlessness, and tarnish the country's global mining reputation. Instead of focusing on essential services like education and healthcare, the government is forced to allocate resources to clean up after criminal enterprises. The Stilfontein operation is just one example of illegal mining diverts fund from South Africa's pressing needs. Illegal miners or zamazamas are not innocent victims. Many are part of organized criminal networks. They not only trespass but also destroy property, endanger lives, and fuel violent syndicates. Their activities result in environmental destruction, the collapse of abandoned shafts, and dangerous living conditions for nearby communities, not to mention the teenagers believed to have been trafficked into illegal mining activities in Stelfontein and Motsasala, Klakstorp. Despite their blatant criminality, Zamazamas are often treated with misplaced compassion, account, yet their actions harm law-abiding South Africans, destabilize local economies, and perpetuate crime. It's time to hold them accountable, not offer unwarranted sympathy. The government must crack down on illegal mining with harsher penalties and increased law enforcement presence around abandoned shafts. This is not the humanitarian crisis, but a criminal one. Many Zamazamas are undocumented foreigners contributing to South Africa's broader immigration issue. Immediate arrests and deportation should follow any rescue operations to deter further illegal activity. It's time to stop enabling criminals by footing the bill for their recklessness. Resources spent on these operations could be better used to benefit law abiding citizens. The Stilfontein incident is not a tragedy but a wake up call. South Africa cannot afford to coddle those who knowingly engage in illegal and harmful activities. Taxpayers should not bear the cost of these operations, and the focus must shift to eradicating illegal mining and holding those involved accountable.